right, welcome back. And in case you're just joining us, it's Tuesday's edition of the program, Morning Pride. And we actually, before now, spoke with the member representing the good people of Oshimele, South Nation, the Delta State House of Assembly, Honorable Bridget Anyafu. Our next spot of interview, this time around, we might not be looking at it from the angle of politics, but rather from the human angle. And I'd like us to welcome, joining us on our next conversation, the very, very highly distinguished Vice Chancellor, one of Nigeria's best, of the Dennis Osadebe University here in Asaba. I'm talking of no other person than Professor Ben Ogo-Jafo. We welcome you, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome, sir.
Good morning.
It's a privilege to have you.
And in our traditional, as tradition, we say Migo, sir.
Rando.
I want to speak Yoruba right now. Mary Gwen.
Rando. Riseable?
No.
Well, she's a
I
true
just had to
person.
learn that for you.
Okay.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
So we know that you have a very, very tight schedule. And when we told that you were actually built for today, we said, yes, one big fish would actually speak to that major sector of education, which is part of this administration's second anniversary, because a lot has been put into the education sector. And you happen to be in charge of Dennis Osadebe University by capacity as the Vice Chancellor. I must say the school is doing so well when you look around all that's been happening. And I'm also privileged to know that you have an entrepreneurial background as well. And so we're not surprised, the right peg, the right hole.
Sure.
But before we come to our nitty-gritty of our discourse this morning, we'll take a very short documentary on the Dennis Osadebe University, how they have come thus far. And when we come back from that spot, then we'll go into our interview session. So if our presentation director is ready, can you please take it away from this point? Let's have that very short documentary on the Dennis Osadebe University history so far.
Welcome to Dennis Osadebe University. It is located in Asaba and owned by the Delta State Government of Nigeria. Its motto is empowering future generations. The university was established in 2021 and offers top quality professional education to over 8,000 students within a modern, serene environment. This is the university's administrative building. It is the heartbeat of all its 8 faculties. Namely, Faculty of Agriculture, Faculty of Allied and Health Sciences, Faculty of Arts, Faculty of Behavioral Sciences, Faculty of Computing, Faculty of Environmental Sciences, Faculty of Management Sciences, Faculty of Science and more to follow. A chat with the key administrative and education personnel with some students of the university reveals a lot of positive ideals this institution holds.
Most programs offered by institutions are not center needs. They are done as it was in the beginning, socially we moved at end. But we say no, we won't go that route. We'll make a shift, adjust names or titles, all that, and adapt it to the environment so that it can be useful to encourage them. They cannot be the best students or best candidates. But with God, we are determined to make them the best graduates.
Every unit of this university is respected with respect to their inputs. No unit is undermined in terms of what they can do. So this university, just like any other university, works on committee system So the Institute of Scientific University relies on that to ensure that inputs from both the low and high are brought together to enhance service delivery. So to me, I feel that the Institute of Scientific University recognizes every staff and student as important in the system.
Yes, ICT is a sine qua non for any academic environments of today, because the world, as we all know, has been described as a global village. By the tap on the button, you should be able to access materials far away in the States, in Europe, and every other place. So, the current Vice Chancellor is up and doing with regards to ICT readiness of the university. Our ICT center, yes, may not be as robust as we desire for now, but I can tell you that what is available there is enough to attend to the staff and students, where even our year one examinations are completely ICT based, so, and we ensure that most of our information, even lecture notes and others, are shared with our students online, so that there's no issue of I missed the class and I couldn't get details of what was in the class.
The digital world has really come to assist the registry, even in keeping records. With digitalization, you don't need to spend the whole day looking for one document or the other. When everything is keyed in, you just need to just click the button and you quickly get your records or your whatever you're looking for, you quickly get it. So digitalization is a very good one.
As the bursar, I am the head of the bursary department, and the bursary department, takes care of the finances. The VC has been doing its best. He has been assisting us in trying to digitalize the bursary department.
The University Library is the center for learning, enhances teaching, enhances research. Our users cuts across the students, lecturers, non-teaching staff, and even researchers across the country.
Without food, a nation that cannot feed itself is not a sovereign nation, because food is very, very important for the livelihood of the people and as a nation. Therefore, efforts must be made to encourage students to embrace agriculture. And one way to do this, like it's been done in some institutions, is by government support. Yes, government can support that in some institutions by reducing tuition, giving a waiver for tuition in some institutions, and by so doing, students are encouraged to study agriculture.
At the point we took up appointment here, the Vice Chancellor made it clear that he was driven by the determination to transform the next generation of leaders. And a lot of the things we do at the various programs, including MASCOM, is to align with that vision, which is in a sense is also a mission, because if your vision is to transform next generation, then of course everything you do is driven by that.
I think the kind of management we have in this institution, their main focus is on making sure the students, while they are here, they get the best of what their parents have sent them here to do. The environment is conducive for learning. The lecturers, the other staff, they are ready, to have a good relationship with the students.
DOU is one of a kind, to be very honest. DOU has created an environment where even the voice of the least of staff is heard, so that we can jointly grow and manufacture the best products for the society. That's the best.
Well, my stay in this great institution has been really exciting, fun, and educative, as I have been able to learn some many skills like life coping skills, educational skills, and skills that can also help me progress better in life and in the future. think the unique selling point is the quality of lecturers that they have and the way they pass knowledge down to the students. They educate you not just only to pass their exams, but also on how to also excel both within and outside Nigeria.
My experience in this school so far has been quite amazing. From year 1 to year 3, it has taught me so many amazing skills which I use in the real world. And I use it in content writing, I use it in copywriting, I also use it in video editing, even though I'm not a theatre artist. So it has taught me so many amazing things, even the movie industry, script writing also. So amazing.
When I entered the school was actually conducive in terms of the learning facility, and even the lecturers, they were very humble in terms of communicating with the students and make someone to understand well when they're teaching and lecturing.
I believe for an upcoming school or for a new university in Delta State, JU is really nice, good environment, qualified lecturers, good teaching, services, and a lot more. Being completely honest, their equipment and facilities are great, but I would say they are not enough for our population because we are much. Nursing and optometry are merging together, doing practicals together, but it has been okay, smooth.
Denis Osadebi University provides academic education and instruction. It offers opportunities for positive character development, as well as modern research and innovation. It awards academic degrees in various fields of study, and also offer community outreach programs. For more information, contact us by phone or visit our website as indicated.
Alright, welcome back. That was a very short documentary on the sights and sounds, actually, and the bounds at which the Denis Osadebi University has leapt under the tutelage of, like I did say, one of Nigeria's best, the Vice Chancellor of that citadel of intellectualism, Professor Ben Ojafor. Welcome you one more time to our studio, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, most of all of these successes that we have just watched under you as Vice Chancellor. So can you just please take us on, we'll just run through a few questions, starting with your unique selling point to this component of where we are now. Quickly, I will hear from you.
Thank you. A university is a place where you offer intellectual products. Everything said in university should be challenged and subjected to interrogation. When it's accepted, then the vision cancelled. You must be visionary in approach. You must not go to any function with a closed mind. Your mind must be open, receptive to ideas, and that is how you reshape and reflect on your vision. I like to run a university as a entrepreneurial institution. In 1995, I wrote an article running Nigerian University as an enterprise. Then it was under military regime because they were thinking of getting to MDs of organizations to run the university. it was a wrong concept. Because you can't give away what you don't have. University is unique in its own culture, and you can't just oppose the industrial experience, no matter the wealth the person must have acquired. It will not feature. Now, a typical example was Medina Kotagora was sent to ABU, and there was serious damage done to the psyche of ABU as an institution. The graduates couldn't get certificates because the law did not allow the sole administrator to sign documents. So we learned from all these experiences of the past to say, okay, fine, we are in the state capital. How do we make ourselves visible, even if nobody wants us to be visible? So we start working on scenarios, create scenarios for yourself. And say, okay, how do I succeed? What are the things I need to do to succeed? What are the enhancing factors? What are the inhibiting factors? Once you identify them, you say, what are my strengths? You don't have money, but you have social capital. Social capital is very, very, very crucial in development. So you now leverage on your social capital to get what you want. And that's what we are doing in university.
Okay, so for a university that has turned 4 years since 2021, Prof, I would like to know what distinguishes Dennis Osadebe University from other universities in Nigeria.
Thank you. Let me start by saying when I enter the university gate, you see there's different culture entirely.
Okay.
When we assume duty in April, we are given academic brief. And I interrogated academic brief because it's something I'm familiar with. I've been team lead and participant on NUC throughout my communities for decades, I would just put it that way. And I didn't like what I saw. And they said, the color of Delta State is blue, it must be blue. I said, wait a minute. I didn't want to offer mass communication to the graduates. Okay. I wanted to do it at postgraduate level. So that all those unemployed human beings looking for employment, we now bring them in to read mass communication at master's level. The quality of journalism would be enhanced by that process.
Okay.
Because we have preponderance of graduates roaming the streets. And one way of constructively engaging them is to do so. But unfortunately, my hands were tied. Because my model will have been Colombian model. The University of Columbia does not offer undergraduate degree program. They only do masters. And that's why you see people like Dr. Gupta of CNN, when they report on medical practice, is given. First, he read his medical education program. He went and got MD and said, how do I impact the society? By letting them know the medical practice flawlessly. He said, I need to have a certificate in journalism. And he went to have a certificate in journalism. If you read, if you watch the TV, you will see most of their reporters who are lawyers. When they report on legal issues, you feel like belonging. But that is a different environment. We are getting there. And we should be able to make a good progress in that direction.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's a very good Colombian style, which you actually adopted, because knowledge, they say, it's power. And we must commend you, because actually watching through the docu, I actually started giving you credit from the ambience of moving into the school. So quickly, Vice Chancellor, I want you to talk on the quality of staff and your partnership with relevant stakeholders, both from the local and international perspective. How have you been able to pull through all of these components?
Thank you. My coming here, I believe strongly that it was a manifestation in the spiritual hemisphere before the physical manifestation.
That's right.
And so I'm a strong believer on value system. I hold university value system very dearly. I haven't gone to the various levels of progress of education and to arrive as a professor, it wasn't a murmuring job. And that is why I said to myself first, this document wouldn't go for me. So let me define the vision for the university. Let me define the mission. Because you must have a mission. What am I existing for? But that's where the question is coming to. Am I existing to offer what? Intellectual products. Bring in raw materials who are not qualified to enter the first generation, second generation universities and turn them around to become human beings whose future will be guaranteed. So I set out, alter the color of the university from blue, change the gate. I designed that gate myself. Wow. Yeah, that gate, I designed the sketch on my appointment. When the governor talked to me, when I refused, after a while, pressure from different quarters. So I designed that. And I said, hey, I did two colors. Asaba is agrarian in nature. That's green.
Green.
Asaba is royalty. That is purple, royal purple. That's how it came about those colors. Wow. And how to design on that. If you see it's a bird storing, and you can see the laurels around the logo of the university. So I haven't done all this. Human capital is genuine in the success of any organization.
True.
Now, if I give you 20 million to go to ShopRite and get me a senior lecturer, can you buy one for me then?
No.
Or a professor?
No.
These people, life has been regimented. They start, if you have no PhD, you start as graduate assistant or GA, if you had 2-1 on first class, then you now move on to assistant lecturer. And in the NUC regulation, everybody's supposed to spend minimum of 3 years in each of those positions. So 3 years as GA, 3 years as AL, 3 years as L2, 3 years as L1, SL, AP, and full professorship. Ceteris paribus.
What does that mean?
All things being equal.
Equal, okay.
That somebody in the hierarchy at line will not have grudges against you. That's where you can make it 3 years.
Okay.
So 3 years plus X unknown. Number of years you spend in that place. So we now said, okay, we can't buy staff, but right now we need to start the program. Government has a vision of the emancipation of Deltans through education. If you liberate people through education, you liberate the society. And that was crucial. From where do we get the staff? We are qualified. If you can't get the staff qualified, no nation goes to war with foreign army. A nation goes to war with the soldiers that it has. It doesn't go to war. All the wars Nigeria has stood for to defend African integrity and territorial integrity as well was fought by Nigerians. They didn't go and use mercenary. So we said, okay, fine. We don't have enough staff because we took off. Our position is quite unique. We took off from Ground Zero. Ozoro took off from Potende. Agbo took off from Collocation. They have staff in existence, they have structure systems and facilities. We zero. We didn't need any kobo from any campus. We're third leg of DELSU. So DELSU did not give us anything. So we there have to fight our own way of success. And that is why the question is asked, how do we get staff? It is the social capital that I have built all over the year that I leverage on. Because if I have been able to supervise over 20 PhD students, and I have several professors who are my students. Today I have a professor who is a vice chancellor that was also my student in Nigeria. So these are my
Its motto is empowering future generations. The university was established in 2021 and offers top-quality professional education to over 8,000 students within a modern, serene environment. This is the university's administrative building. It is the heartbeat of all its 8 faculties. Namely, Faculty of Agriculture, Faculty of Allied and Health Sciences, Faculty of Arts, Faculty of Behavioral Sciences, Faculty of Computing, Faculty of Environmental Sciences, Faculty of Management Sciences, Faculty of Science and more to follow. A chat with the key administrative and education personnel with some students of the university reveals a lot of positive ideals this institution holds.
Most programs offered by institutions are not necessary.
Every decision you take in life, people criticize it. And say, oh, why do you have to bring people from other universities? Well, we could have done all this ourselves. I said, no, without these people, you will not be able, because your hand cannot touch your back to wash it. And that's why you use sponge to help scrub your back, where to get your back. So this part here has interventionist force. To build the human capital we require for the university to excel. So that's our journey so far. A combination of all these factors and continuous improvement is our core value.
Yes. All right, so Prof, let's talk about research. I would like to know how the university is supporting research and innovation among staff and students.
Thank you for that question. I really admire it. Research. Many people work in university. They are not familiar with what is called research. It's research. You have to have the spirit in you to look for a gap that is existing in the site. And say, this gap is existing. How do I bridge that gap? So you go into looking at the historical antecedents of such things. You now take the modernist view, postmodernism view, and you take what your contemporary view is. So why I try to bridge this gap? You now say, okay, let me identify the problem. Let me postulate by having a hypothesis to myself. So what we have done, we've organized different research groups across discipline, because we don't believe one idea of a discipline is sufficient. Cross-fertilization of ideas. And we don't have the money to embark on very gigantic research work. Okay. But people who are doing research, who are interested, are inclined, are now brought in, and university pay part of that money for them to do their work. Because we cannot be island on ourselves. We have to reach out to funding agencies, such as TEDFund. And TEDFund has provided us some good money for our research work. And we are trying to also have external relationship with other universities. I'm bringing a professor from US on short term, stay with us, starting from July. Professor Tanre Ojaide is spending some time with us. Then a professor from Kansas State University in Kansas, United States, is also coming to spend some time with us to help build the capacity and the network required. Take, for instance, books acquisition is very difficult and it's capital intensive. We are trying to get friends abroad. When I was the Dean of Faculty of Business Administration, University of Lagos, the books I brought into the country were through my friends from different universities. And that's what made the repository of knowledge we have in the faculty. So we try to do the same thing here. Let me say this. I normally travel minimum of 3 times a year for my research work and conferences.
Self-sponsored?
Self-sponsored. All my 40-something years in the University of Lagos, they sponsored me only 1 year. And that was all, nothing more. The money at that time cannot even carry me to the Atlantic and make me back because the money was so small, and I have to write a letter to the Vice Chancellor that this money cannot take the boy to the Atlantic and bring the person back. He will get a destination. And that's how we fought the system. So here, I have not been able, but God willing, this year, I will try the possible best I can to network on my past.
Okay. So quickly, sir, before I let you go, you have a very strong resume background, having worked at the great University of Lagos. And I want to talk on your choice of professorialship, and that has to do with strategic and entrepreneurial management. Entrepreneur is the vogue now, and for you to go through every point in life, you need to bring in entrepreneurial skills. And I was sharing with somebody some time ago that that was where we lacked it on Albany show, because if you had brought in the entrepreneurial studies from primary school, we would not be dependent on the white-collar job. At the point, the educational system tried to bring it in by the 6334 mechanism, where you do 3 years of junior learning skills, but that did not fly at all in the Nigerian school, because it just went through the normal junior WAEC, senior WAEC, and all of that. The universities have tried to bring in this now, and by your background, what are you doing to that effect? Are you making sure that every student of your school passes through that and has that as a course in their scheme moving forward, sir?
Thank you. It's for this reason that in 1992, thereabouts, we moved to NUC and said, look, you've got to introduce entrepreneurship as a course to address this unemployment. And the first entrepreneurship association, I was the first president, Teachers Association, under NUC. I was the first president. And since 1992, I've been fighting entrepreneurship at the University of Lagos. I believe strategy is it all. My inaugural lecture centered on strategy for successful living. If you don't have strategy, you cannot live successfully. Because from the day your father met your mother, you stood to compete in life. You competed among the millions of spermatozoa. Only you survived. you went ahead, like those of us of my generation who have to touch their ear before they go to school. Look at the primary school mates. Where are they? Your secondary school classmates, where are most of them who got to university? Where are most of them? Some are big boys, very wealthy, have classmates who are multi-millionaires or billionaires now. But Charles Darwin's survival of the fittest comes to play. Out of everybody you were with, one person will survive. In the same way, family circle, nuclear family circle, you may not be the first child, last child, middle child. One person in that family will rise and take preeminence. So we said everybody in university should have knowledge of entrepreneurship. We are limited by facilities. Just yesterday I was talking to the director of entrepreneurship. Can't we look for a big hall like this and just build and make tailoring available, coloring available? That is why I brought in Faculty of Arts. We didn't have Faculty of Arts for the next 5 years of the existence of the university. And I said, can you teach in a university without having humanity? And that was why we brought Faculty of Arts in. So with creative arts, with fine and applied arts, they will mix with the people and create a job for them. I don't know whether you were part and parcel of what took place in the Council of Traditional Ruler some time ago by the university. We were there on a display showing the capacity we are coming out with, that every student who finished from the university should have opportunity of being self-employed and employer of labor. Take, for instance, we've made a policy that every student studying agriculture must have a small square meter of land where he cultivates as is practical. If you are undergoing a course like fishery and aquaculture, you buy this GP tank, you start growing the fishes there, the fingerlings, and then 3 months, 6 months, that's how the society moves. When you go to China, a child of 2 has started dismantling equipment. Where you have here, a child of 5 is conjugating, and instead of being exposed to the experimentation, is not exposed to it. Without trial, how can you get erection? So you have to allow the children, like he said, when we were in primary school, we had our beds and ridges where we planted things. We learned handcraft. I was one of the best weavers of baskets with water cane. We learned it in primary school. And we were able to do handcraft. Handcraft was handcraft, not buying something to go and sell, you know. So we lost it all there as a nation. But it's not too late. We are to the rescue. We have ICT coming now. This is where we should leverage on. The world we are living in now is a world of data sciences, software engineering. The kind of qualification we acquired in our time when we went to university may not be relevant now, except people adapt themselves to the reality of the situation we have in Nigeria. The emerging world, you don't need to go and say, look, COVID came. There was then new mode of working away from home. You were earning millions without going to the office one day. Teaching was no longer face-to-face contact. Everything, the dynamics have changed. So this paradigm shift, we are trying to move into it. Just yesterday, we signed an agreement with the Swedish company on entrepreneurship so that it can come and use ICT to help drive it to every nooks and corners of the state for us. And If we pursue that vigorously, we should be able to get some leverage from them. Because the people need to be told government cannot employ everybody. The industries are not there to employ everybody. In Asabaya, other many industries are here. So we need to create our little works to give us self-employment and contentment as a person. Let me tell you, from my personal experience in life, I always told my colleagues, nobody lives on one stream of income. A stream of income will never survive anybody. It's just from mouth to mouth. And except you diversify. You diversify. As a lecturer, I have diversified myself so thinly. If you can ask the SSG, Dr. Kislemu, he will tell you that as a entrepreneurial lecturer, I was trying all kind of businesses to survive. Because poverty is a sin that you must kill by all means. Because we never allow you to rest.
At all. Okay, sir, I have this question. How does the university plan to cope with increasing population of students 4 years after? We know that students, everybody wants to go to Denis Osadibe University now. So how do you plan to cope with that?
Thank you for that compliment. We want everybody to come to Denis Osadibe University.
Do you have
because
the facility?
We have the facility.
Infrastructure.
You see, what is important in life? If you have the vision, the initiative comes.
Okay.
People perish for lack of vision. This university, I thank the two dramatic persons here. Senator, Dr. Ato Ifayo Kowa, who works assiduously with Right Honorable Sheriff Francis Oledo Obolowole as Speaker of the House to bet these three universities. Chested are not because of the House plus it's a plus of fund. They saw a vision of Delta. How do we take them to the next level? You are asking me now, how do I cope with the population? I give my salute to Right Honorable Sheriff Obolowole. We are running courses that are unique. In the whole of Delta State, there's only one university that's running optometry, and that's Denis Osadibe University.
Wow.
There's only one university running actuarial science, that's Denis Osadibe University. There's only one university running insurance now. Insurance, that's Denis Osadibe University. Because there's this key gap in those places. Then Osadibe University, when you go to the hospital, you are not well, they call it dietitian for you. Where the only university offering dietetics is Denis Osadibe University.
Wow.
We are carving out a marketing niche for ourselves for the sustainability and survival of the university. And those stakeholders, which is inclusive of the employees, and the employer. Our employer must be happy they are delivering the product. Those who are employed employee must get their salary as at when due. And they must get promoted as at when due. So those are factors we consider. Yeah. If you look at the small picture they showed you, the area view of the university, it has ample opportunity of success. So we are leveraging on technology to drive our vision. We cannot have everything in a place. Let me say this. In our days in the university, when we studied computer, we studied basic Fortran and all that. Big mainframe in a room like this. We're using slide rule to do calculation. You can imagine slide rule and time for figures table. A not calculator. We're not allowed to use. We didn't even know what calculator was. So we're able to read and understand. We're able to position them. And today we are where we are. We are here as an institution offering intellectual products to give hope to the hopeless. Hope to the student, hope to the staff.
Okay, I want to take that. Yeah, both of them are basic, but hope for the students now. Off camera, you and I talked about the Nelfund project by His Excellency Restoring Hope, and by extension, our governor has keyed in with the more agenda. Can you speak on the Nelfund? Has it actually touched the lives of your students?
Well, if you sweep the ground, you match it first. That's what they say in my place. He who sweep the ground matches it first.
Okay.
I'm proud to say that Dennis Olamide University was the first to apply for NEFA.
Wow.
I leverage on it because one of my PhD students is also director in NEFA. And so, as soon as I came on board, I said, well, this is the APC government, this is PDP government. You have to manage it too, because the money for the Nelfund, bulk of it came from Niger Delta to the center to be shared. Then if we sweep the ground, we don't match it, then there's an aberration. That's why we launch it. I encourage my colleagues of Gwashi, every other person to launch it to it because it's beneficial. And to God be the glory. To God be the glory indeed. We got our first tranche about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
And I set Messiah in motion immediately to let the students testify to the goodness of the Lord. That indeed it's not empty promises, that they have got their money. Well, let me tell you, to organize human beings is very, very difficult. Do you know that the students could not even fill in their biodata completely? The name they fill in is not among the names they have in the university. Some have a bank account that the numbers are not correct. So all that had been done in the past 2 weeks. In fact, it was on Friday that they concluded that. Yesterday, and I asked the boss to disburse the money to all the students who are qualified for the first tranche. And that modality for disbursing is this. Any student who has not paid the fees, take the money to pay the fees for the student. Okay. The one who has paid the fees, reimburse them. So that they will be given the capacity to continue with their educational journey.
Okay, and that translates into another 4 years for Mr. President, because the student will definitely be behind him.
But I hope they know that they are going to pay back. It's a grant.
Well, when we sleep, we can dream. Wait till the day we get to that level.
Oh.
I'm a beneficiary of one of these abuses. In our times, we have scholarship, we have bursary. Come and see how Bendelites were celebrating bursary award. In Uniband, we traversed all the areas of Nigeria by getting the bursary. I recall as a sportsman, we went to Togo on West Africa Games. And in our team, we had more Bendelites. Of course, you know, we are known for sports. Because of the money we carried, you carried 200 naira. You change it there, it's into CFAs of so many CFAs that I can't even say millions. Then we took this French bread as batten. That's what they eat. Because university students in Togo then have not got the privilege of seeing electricity in the hostel to read. So they read with the street light. We took the bread, this French bread, long. We're using it as batten for running. We don't run, then pass it on, run, pass it on. Those boys couldn't believe the exuberance we're exhibiting because of the confidence of the money we carried. So most of the scholarship given there were not given out for people to pay.
Yes.
It was given out to fail. You know why? The beneficiaries were not actually the students. The executioners were the beneficiary. What do I mean by that? Those who were in charge to present over it, when they give money to students, they also collect their own part. That's how they became rich. That's how it was abused. That's how everybody paid back. There's no record to show who is paying back. These are part of the things that we have said to the man in charge, Tunde Esaya, that they should guide against. And he has the caliber of human beings that I believe that they can do that and structure it well. For you to pay back, the government needs to go a step further. When you graduate, how do you get to pay back when you have no job?
Exactly.
So you should provide you a means of employment. I'm an advocate of having a ministry of higher education. When you graduate from university, you're now going to learn a trade somewhere that gives you capacity to be employed somewhere. You pay back. So, the way it is now, that's why I said, let us sleep. When we sleep, we will now dream later. The students paying back, it will not be my concern. And my concern is that how will I go and say that I was chief servant of Dennis Albion University and none of my students is a beneficiary of NEP fund is absurd. Because you know, Bendelites have a way of connecting things. As we speak, I have a number of us who also school with some of the people who are from this state. I don't want to mention them, but these are the social capital I talked about.
Yes.
You leverage on. So when I hit them in Abuja, somebody just called, I sent a message to them in Abuja. That person sent it to somebody in Delta State. That person in Delta State, they didn't know I know that person. I didn't know he knows that person. That 45. So our second tranche is something I'm going to go for. I'll be off anytime from now to go and source for more. Oliver wants some more. That's good. Because my final year students must get something before they go.
I'd like to thank you so much, the chief servant
yes,
of the Dennis Osadepe University Asaba, Professor Ben E.A. Ogujafor, Professor of Strategic and Entrepreneurial Management. He's such an interviewer's delight, if you ask me, and he's spoken so well to our conversation this morning. I just hope, sir, that we'll have you again. We'll have the privilege of also having you again to come and speak to us on more issues that are timely. You've spoken so much entirely in the process of what I discussed this morning. I wouldn't want to ask for more. I would have just said your wish as we celebrate the second anniversary of His Excellency, Right Honorable Francis Sheriff Oboredo quickly.
Before I say that, let me correct an impression. Naked I came to the world, naked I go. I don't answer title professor. My name is Ben Emukufiapoe Mario Ogojafor, Professor of Strategic and Financial Management. That's enough for me. As a PhD holder, I don't answer doctor. I don't write professor in my name, a preface. I came naked, naked I go. Now, I am very delighted that I had the clarion call, honorific clarion call, to serve my state in the light of my career, and to have met, through the divine intervention of God, Right Elder, Right Honorable Sheriff Francis Oledo Oluwole. He's an unassuming character, a man with enormous capacity to excel, a man with thorough understanding of governance. I recall vividly one of the congratulatory messages I wrote when he assumed office was to remind all Deltans that is the one who has not been a commissioner. He has not served in the executive arm of government. He was in the legislative arm of government. Therefore, he has thorough understanding from the various bills that they'll be passing to consummate happiness for Deltans. I never knew that he was coming with more agenda. And now, the lawyers have a say, res issa loquitur. The facts speak for itself. Go to Warri. He was bold enough to say, charity begins from home. When he was sworn in, that the centerpiece of my governance will not be Warri and his baron. I want to salute him for keeping to his words, not keeping to his word alone, but writing his name in sands of time. The 3 bridges taking place undergoing construction in Warri has huge socioeconomic characteristics on the life of the people there. It has also the capacity to elongate life, because the quality of life has been improved by that road construction. I'm sorry, I'm a researcher, so I go around wandering, looking for where to probe and all that. I got to Warri. I saw the huge capital development taking place. I said, but we are in a wetland. Where will the water go? Where is the primary? Where is secondary? Where is tertiary? That is the major problem we have in road construction in the south, because we are using asphalt for our road. We should use asphalt in wetlands. We are using, well, I saw the covers by the airport. I'm 6 feet plus. I think twice of my height. It's as big as that. So the whole flood in the cemetery, Market Road, Robert Road, Big Market, Major, I'm sure those are envisaged for that channelization. It's magnificent. The one in Asaba, Tokmanam, is very good. I give credit to the government. But this one is massive. So he also assured me in brief interaction with him, because the man is not given to too many talk. He just goes pia, 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 and he's done. And he said he will do his utmost best for Deltans. And on this note, on second anniversary, I pray God to enlarge his coast,
Amen.
to increase capacity to perform, to give him peace of mind, to give him the purpose for which he was elected, to enable him to actualize the more. As he has tried his utmost best, let him double what he has done in 2 years. We are free to offer suggestions. Like you said, you will invite us from time to time to come here. But that's the essence of existence. The university and the outside world must interact. is stand and guard relationship. We must exchange ideas for the good governance of the system. So this is the process we must fight for him to succeed in. So I want to, on this note, encourage all Deltans and all well-meaning Nigerians to give their tacit support to him to succeed. Because once succeed, we have succeeded. But please bear in mind, nobody is perfect. Neither me, nor my creator who created me, made me perfect. So we should expect some failures here and there, but these are part of what to take along as a learning curve or learning experience in life. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank you so much, Ben E. Ogojafor, Chief Servant of the Daily Society University, as our Professor of Strategic and Entrepreneurial Management. I guess this is where we'll drop our transmission this morning. So if we are taking
it's a better way to drop it. I mean, I've been listening to Prof speak, even though we're asking questions, but I must say I've learned a lot from you today. Thank you so much, and let's do this again next week, Tuesday. Today is Children's Day, and Delta Broadcasting Service was celebrating DBS Children's Cultural Carnival, and that's why I'm dressed like this today.
And also, the Daily Society students will also be taking part.
Yes, they're going to be participating.
Well, I wish them a very successful DBS Cultural Festival to celebrate Children's Day.
Yes.
We are once children, and we have children.
Yes, and we are children of God.
We are children of God. We expect more children to come through grandchildren and all that.
Yes.
I wish all Deltans who are celebrating Children's Day the best in life.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Our Chief Servant, for speaking to our components of our discussion this morning. All right, we'll do this again, bright and early tomorrow. My name is Onomet Tano. God bless Delta State. God bless Nigeria.